lesson, guys, I'll be doing a factorization of difference of sum of cubes. And please, guys, this type of a question, if you see something like this thing is not the same as 2, then I can just put 4. These two things, they are much more different, guys. These are the difference of two squares, but this one are the difference of sum of cubes. For the difference of two squares, this thing, it is in the form of, it got two terms which are separated by negative, and there you can take the square root of 4, which is the square root of 4 there, you know it's 2, meaning there you can apply difference of two squares. Here you can have that exponent, meaning they will get 1. So it says that here we can apply difference of two squares. For you to apply difference of two squares for such question, this is what you do there. Then you just do 1, 2, 1, 2. The square root of this there, you have the exponent, and the square root of that there you will get 2, which is plus or minus. So difference of two squares, guys, you only apply them if you are able to what, to take the square root, and that thing there, it is in this form. But for this one there, if you can take a look, also this thing there, it is in the same format, whereby you got two terms which are separated by negative. But now the problem there, you cannot take the square root of 8, which is the square root of 8. Do you see what you get? So it means there, difference of two squares, you cannot apply them. But difference of sum of cubes, it's something like this, guys. This thing there, it got what? It got you got two terms which are separated by negative, and there you are taking the cube root of that thing there. Taking a cube root of this, let's try to check the shift that, which is, okay, shift this there, cube root there. Do you see that you got 2? So it means that you can apply a cube root of 8. And there you can divide it by 3, meaning here you can apply a cube root of that. So this is what you will do there. Taking a cube root, you will do small brackets and big brackets. Do you see? And now let's fill those brackets. Taking a cube root of this, it's inside divided by outside, meaning it's 3 divided by 3. There you'll just get this thing there. Then for this one there, we know the cube root of 8, it's 2 there. And now we got negative. And here's, guys, some interesting part. How will you fill this big bracket there? For you to fill that big bracket, you take this thing here in squared form, meaning that thing there, it must be inside a square root there. And that thing, it's here. And at the same time, you should take this there, here, in squared form, meaning even as well as that number there, you can put it in inside a square root there, but it must have a squared form. And here, guys, it's always positive there, but the sign that to put there is the opposite of that sign, meaning here it's positive. The sign that to put there is the opposite of that. You put positive. And here, what do you write? Here, what do you write? You will multiply both of those two things here, meaning that I can just multiply by what? By x and 2. So here's now my final answer of this question. It will be x minus 2, and here there it will be x2. This thing there will be plus 2x. That thing there, it will just give me 4, which is that thing there is the final answer of this question. Then what about for this one? Even as well as for this one, guys, here this thing, it is in a form of, we got two terms separated by negative, but here now we can take the square root of this thing there. Square root of 1, it's 1. But there we cannot divide this thing by 2. We cannot divide 3 by 2. We'll get a fraction, which is also a decimal, meaning that we cannot apply difference of two squares. But difference of sum of cubes, we can take the cube root of this thing, shift, cube root of that, it's 1, meaning we can apply it, a cube root. There we can divide it by 3, meaning also here we can apply difference of sum of cubes there. This is how you apply them, and say 3. And here you just take 1 and say open, close, small bracket and big bracket. Taking a cube root of a base, you divide the exponent by 3, meaning there you'll just got invisible 1 there. Taking this thing, you'll get 1 and put that negative here. And now what you should do now, you should fill the big bracket there. For you to fill the big bracket, this thing there, it will come here, becoming in exponential form there, like in squared form, meaning this thing there, it will have a squared number, and taking this thing there must be here in squared form, it will be there, and that they will have x squared, which is exponent 2. And here it's supposed to be what? Supposed to be positive all the time here. Positive. The sign that to put there is the opposite of that one, meaning also here it's positive. And here you will multiply both of them, meaning there, here we got y and here we got 1. So here's again now your final answer, guys, of this thing. So meaning this thing there, it's y minus by what? By 1. This thing there, it's y2 plus y, and say 1 there. So this is the final answer of this question there. Do you see? Yeah. So what about for this one? Even here we cannot take the square root of 7 there. So if you cannot take the square root of 7, it means difference of two squares, you cannot apply them, and we cannot have that exponent. So difference of two squares there, we cannot apply them. But difference of sum of cubes, we can apply in this case, which is here, it's A3. Small bracket, big bracket, small bracket and big bracket there. Taking the cube root of a base there, you will divide the exponent by 3, meaning they will get invisible 1. And this thing there, you can punch there, say shift square, then 27, you got 3 there. And there you can put that negative here. Taking this thing, come here, that thing there, it will be not in squared form there. Meaning here it will just be A, that 1. And also taking this, it will be in squared form here, meaning this thing there, it will just be 3 to the exponent of 2 there. And here all the time there, it must be positive. The sign that you put there is the opposite of that one, meaning here it's positive as well. And now what I will write here, I will multiply both of those two things here. Put them inside a bracket, meaning here it's A, and there it's 3. And now this is what will happen now as your final answer. Here we got A3. That one, it's unnecessary for you to put it. Say open 2, exponent 2 they multiply by exponent 1. You will only get 2 there. Here you'll just get 3A. And here you'll press that thing on calculator, you'll get 9. That's your final answer. Do you see? Then what about for these two questions then? So for this one there, even this one there, it is not even in a form of a difference of two squares. It got no negative there. This one it got positive. The moment this one it got positive, obvious there, it's not in a form of difference of two squares. But this thing there, it is also in a form of difference of sum of cubes. The format, guys, of a difference of sum of cubes, it can be plus or negative there. But now in this case there, it got what? It got positive there. And that because you can take the cube root of what? Of 1, it means you can apply cube root of 1 there. And then we can take the cube root of 8, shift squared, it's 2 there. Meaning there, here, and there we can divide it by 3. Meaning here we can apply a cube root. So this thing there, it is in a form of what? Of difference of sum of cubes. So this is how you apply that format then. You just say cube root of 8x3. And even here, just 1 cube root there. But this thing, guys, don't get confused there. This thing there is the same as 8 cube. And here, x3. So here, yeah, don't get confused then. Say again now, open, and close. And the cube root of 8, guys, it's 2. But the cube root of this thing there, you will divide that thing there by 3 there. You will say inside divided by outside. 3 divided by 3, you'll get invisible 1. And here you'll just get 1 as a cube root of 1. And there we got positive now in this case. Taking this thing, guys, to that other side, that there it must be not in squared form. Meaning that it must have a squared there. And now all of this thing there, it will be 2x there. And also I can take that one here, must be in squared form, meaning here it should have that exponent 2. So here it's 1, and all the time here it's positive. And the sign that we'll put there is the opposite of that one. If now it's positive, it means here it's supposed to be negative there. And now what I will do, I will multiply both of those two things here. Meaning here it will just be 2x there. I hope you can see that this thing is 2x. And here it's 1 there. And now here's the final answer of this question. Whereby this thing is 2x plus 1. And for that one there, that thing there, it's a number. You can press it down a calculator, open bracket 2 to the exponent of 2 there. Meaning there you'll get what? You'll get 4. So it means that it's 4x2. For the base there, you got invisible 1. Exponent outside will multiply exponent inside. You'll get that 2 there. And both of those two things, they will multiply together. Anything when you multiply with 1, you should get the same thing there. And this one there, you can even press down your calculator, you'll still get 1 there, which is that it's plus 1. So that is the final answer of this question there. So what about for this one? Even this one, guys, is straightforward. Then for there, what you can notice, this thing, it is in a form of, we got two terms separated by what? By negative there. And then we can take the square root of what? Of 20, of 46. There, the square root of 46, it's 8. But again, now there we cannot divide by what? By 2 there. We cannot halve those exponents. If we try to halve those exponents, we'll find out that we got a fraction, which is also a decimal. So it means that difference of two squares, we cannot apply them. But if we can try difference of sum of cubes there, check something. There we can take the cube root of 46, it's 4. But at the same time, there we can divide this thing by 3, meaning that difference of sum of cubes, we can apply them. This is how you apply difference of sum of cubes there. Say this, which is here, it's 64 cube and cube of b, that there. And say small brackets and big brackets. Taking the cube root of a base, you will divide the exponent by 3, meaning they will get 1. But for this one, they already know they will get what? Will get 4. And here it will just be b, that 1. That negative is supposed to be here. And those one, guys, is unnecessary for you to put them. 1, which is the exponent, no need for to put them there. And now what I will do, taking this thing there in squared form here, it will become like this. And taking that one there in squared form, it will become like this. Here all the time it's positive. The sign that you put them is the opposite of that one, meaning that it should be positive. Then you multiply both of those two things here. So now I can just substitute this thing there, it's a1. And here it's 4b1. And here it's just the a1. And there it will be 4b there. 4b, that's 4b. And now here's your final answer, which is a minus by 4b. Open. Exponent outside will multiply with the exponent inside. These two things, they will multiply each other, become ab. And say plus. This there you can press down your calculator like this there, meaning they will got 16 and b exponent 2, which is this one there is your final answer. Yeah. So thank you guys for your time. All the best in your studies.